I didn't know he was like selling stuff. I mean, he's got a lot of things, right? So, you know what? I think every freaking YouTuber, when they decide to hang it up, they should be legally required to sell their collection. I think that's what they should do. And the reason why I say this is because oftentimes it's YouTubers who ruin the third-party market. And you know this to be true. YouTubers will review a game and be like, yo guys, I found this really cool game you never heard of. It's fantastic. It's really fun, and you can buy it for cheap on eBay. And then what happens to the market for that game? It immediately blows up, and then everything gets like ridiculously expensive for no good reason other than it was featured on some dude's YouTube video. If you're getting it out, if you're getting out of freaking YouTube, if you're hanging it up, sell everything you own. Get rid of it. You don't need it anymore. You ruin the market for people. Just get rid of that stuff. Do a little bit of good in this world. Stop forcing frickin' pricing to go up based on demand, like artificial demand on a frickin' YouTube video. Most recent game that this happened with, the Winnie the Pooh game. Have you guys seen that stupid Twitter thing a couple weeks ago where like they were like, oh my god, this Winnie the Pooh game with Piglet in it is so, it's Silent Hill, man. It's so spooky, Silent Hill. That game went up to like frickin' hundreds of dollars. No one knew what that game was 2 days ago. Now it's on resale for like 300, 400 bucks, so you can't find it anymore. This is the kind of garbage I'm talking about. I hate this. This is the reason why like I mostly do exclusively like ODEs and ROMs and things, because it's impossible to be a retro gamer anymore. I hate this. It's so stupid. Stop ruining the third-party market. I think that's another reason why I don't like Super Metal Jesus Rocks, actually. Now that I'm saying this, now that I've expressed this frustration, I'm pretty sure Metal Jesus Rocks was the reason for a lot of this stuff. Or a reason, right? I'm not gonna put all the blame on him because it's not just him. But it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, man, Piglet's Big Adventure. I don't know, man. Flavor of the week, meme of the week is one thing, but like, that's a direct consequence of someone sharing a clip on social media and ruining the third-party market for yet another game. And like Piglet's thing is it's not even like I don't even want to call it it's not a hidden gem. It really isn't. I remember when that game came out. It's a licensed title. Like, it's a company, you know, someone got the license for the freaking Winnie the Pooh series and made a game out of it. That, in my day, that's called freaking shovelware. That would have been like a throwaway Wii game that you never even heard about. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know, man. It just frustrates me. Thank God for FPGA gaming. Thank God for ODEs. Thank God for ROMs. Thank God for emulation, man. Well, Kuon, I don't get. I don't know who popped the bubble on Kuon. I would actually be interested in knowing. But I think Kuon probably, I'm gonna talk completely out of pocket, just guessing. Kuon's probably just one of those ones that was just low print run, hard to find, thus expensive. I think I'm willing to. That's just general stupidity in the market type beat, not some YouTuber. But I would not. Let's just say I would not be surprised if it was hyped up by some YouTuber, and that's the reason why it got that bad. I just don't recall. I can't recall off the top of my head an instance where it was sold by a YouTuber or whatever. Same thing with the Rule of Rose, Haunted Ground. Yeah. I think Haunted Ground wasn't Haunted Ground like a Clock Tower sequel or something. Am I right in saying that? One of them games was like a Clock Tower sequel or something like that. I don't think. Okay, I'm not saying the price is justifiable, but I get why they might be that expensive because of just limited run. Now, again, let me say this. I don't think any game is worth more than like MSRP. And you know, outside of the realities of the market that is imposed by gamers and like people trying to get a quick buck from their collections or whatever. You know, I think a game should be MSRP or less. And it's not that way. I understand that. I get it. But like the fact of the matter is, you know, these game guys, they make their games, they release them at those prices. That's their intended price, right? Now, there's certain exceptions to this, of course, but like I feel like people often, especially in the reason why I say the at price or whatever, what happens is people will buy a game and they're willing to pay a price for it. I'll give an example. Radiant Silvergun for the Sega Saturn. That for a while there, that game was running 120, 150 bucks because it's a highly sought after title. It's a good game. I roughly bought it for that much. Actually, I think I bought it for less, like 120 bucks. But I ended up selling the game for 260 some odd dollars a couple years later because I was getting rid of my Saturn collection, and some guy was willing to pay that much for it. So I was like, okay, fine. I mean, you know, you sure you don't want? You could probably buy the arcade board for that much, but you know, what do I know? But the issue is this: people will buy a game for a certain price, they'll keep it for a while, and the problem is they want to make a profit on the game. They want to make their money back plus more. Now you do that enough times, you do that 3 or 4 times, then that's when you get the stupid, like, oh my god, overpriced secondhand market BS. Because people are always trying to make their money back. And that's the problem. That ultimately, that's the biggest issue in the resale market when you're talking about used games. Guys trying to make their money back, selling a game that they bought for way too much money. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, you know, this copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast, you forget that there's been 17 different ports of it, including one on a collection. I'll sell it to you for 300. It's just like, no, there's no. I bought that game at launch for 40 bucks. That game was $40. MVC2 was $40 on the Dreamcast. Arguably the best version of the game because it's based on the Naomi hardware. It's dumb. It's dumb, and I hate it. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think this can be fixed. The only way that this can actually be fixed, or at least mitigated, is people buying misters or people getting into emulation real heavy. And like the game devs are clawing. They don't care about the secondhand market. You know, some people do care. I think some companies care when they issue reprints and reissues of old games, but that's not a guarantee. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of companies who don't exist, and there's a lot of companies who are neglecting their backlog. Sega just put out an announcement not that long ago that they said they don't know what they own. Sega doesn't know their catalog of games that they own. They don't know what games they legally are able to reproduce, which is nuts. That's nuts to me. How do you not know? How do you not know? How can a Wikipedia article know more than you? Don't you have access to the internet? like seriously, it's just I don't get it. Games preservation is not in the mind of a lot of these game companies, and like that's why I am pretty vocal about people getting games and backing them up. And you know, I'm not the only one, right? Like, there's a lot of people that think the same way that I do. Like, you got to, man, you got to, because these companies, they're not being good stewards to their catalogs. They're not. Sometimes they are, you know, granted, but like it's not a given. It's not a given that they will be. Sometimes you got to get in the dirt, and get your hands a little dirty, and take care of situations yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's no solution to this really, other than using technology to make games more accessible. We're gonna do what we can, I guess. And just spread the good word, man. Spread the good word of emulation. Whether it be FPGA or something in between.